Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today I would like to cover The Thing number 5, published in 1983 by Marvel Comics. When Marvel 2-in-1 ended 5 months prior to the publication of this issue of The Thing's solo title, Marvel pivoted that character from Marvel 2-in-1 into the eponymous The Thing title. I'm not sure why they did that. Maybe because they also canceled Marvel Team Up, I think, a little bit after that. So they were kind of moving away from their team up titles, and maybe those titles had become a little stale over time with the different guest star in every issue. But I certainly love them. There's a host of stories from Marvel Team Up and Marvel 2-in-1 that are among my favorite of the Bronze Age, including some incredible runs from Claremont and Byrne and Mark Grunwald and Ralph Macchio on the Project Pegasus saga. But here we are left with The Thing and his own solo title. And I can distinctly remember buying this from the rack as a kid, and just the incredible cover, The Thing just being beat down by three other heroic characters, three of my other favorite heroic characters, Wonder Man, She-Hulk, and the Spectacular Spider-Man. And I love the orange background on this cover. It's just such a brilliant cover. I got this in a dollar bin a couple years ago, and I've been meaning to cover it on the channel, and had a conversation with a friend of mine the other day about how much he loved The Thing's solo title, and I thought, what a good time to bring this one out and give it its due. So here we are. Thing is obviously being beaten up on Madison Avenue here on the cover. So let's dig in and see what happens and why this whole fracas is going on. With friends like these, Stan Lee presents, John Byrne, writer, Ron Wilson, penciler, Hilary Barta, inker, Jim Novak, letterer, Bob Sharon, colorist, Ann Nocenti, editor, Jim Shooter, friend to all. Hilarious. I really love Hilary Barta's inks on Ron Wilson's pencils in this story. They're really nice. They really give Ron Wilson's pencils a nice flair. Ron Wilson is a very accomplished penciler and storyteller. Some inkers work with his pencils better than others, and I think Hilary Barta really does a great job with Ron Wilson on this issue. And I think shortly after this issue, John Byrne leaves as the writer. But he kind of is setting things up because he's at the same time he's writing Fantastic Four. He's still on his epic FF run. So we open up with this great splash page of The Thing in civilian togs here, and he is leaving the hospital. He was visiting his girlfriend Alicia, the blind sculptress Alicia Masters, who is in the hospital once again because of her association with The Thing. And he has spent in real time decades with these maudlin musings about how he should leave Alicia so that she would be better off. And John Byrne finally does it, actually, after the Secret Wars. He breaks them up, and Alicia actually ends up with Johnny Storm, but we get a weird twist of fate from another writer later on. It ends up, I guess, not being Alicia. It's very similar to what happened in Legion of Superheroes with Colossal Boy and Shrinking Violet. So Thing is, of course, wondering if Alicia would be better off without him. The docs say Alicia's coming along just fine. I wonder if that's good enough. She wouldn't have got stepped on by a nihilist like that if she wasn't mixed up with me. Ah, nuts. Taxi! The cab groans slightly as 500 pounds ease into it. It takes The Thing and his darkening thoughts away. So he arrives back at the Baxter building. He is observed by this sinister-looking figure, also in a trench coat and fedora, and we're going to see that he's going to be the central driver of the events of the rest of the book. Thing shows up in the lobby, and we have our first guest appearance here. We have Wonder Man in his awesome safari outfit. If you want to start a argument online, just say that you either like or hate the Wonder Man safari outfit, and someone will be along in a few minutes to argue with you about it. I love it. Morning, Ben. Wonder Man. Hey, good to see you, pal. What could bring Simon Williams so far from the lights of showbiz? Bring me? Ben, you called me not half an hour ago. You said it was urgent. Not me, pal. I've been up at the hospital with my gal. Somebody's been pranking you. But I. Great panel here. Some pretty awesome storytelling. And wow, look at this incredible page. Look at his action shot. Pow! Thing goes flying. And of course, his civilian garb is going to get shredded pretty quickly here. And this is incredible, reminiscent of FF250. And very lucky no one was killed by the Thing's careening path here. Incredible knockback from Wonder Man, one of the strongest characters in the Marvel Universe. What in the name of... And this sequence here is pretty great. They kind of show a little talked about power of Wonder Man and that he is much faster than a normal person should be. So, but the Thing has little time to ponder the strange actions of the man he thought a friend. Wonder Man is on the move, and there are few on Earth who have any hope of holding his charge. But one of them is the Thing. What are you doing to me, Wendy? Slam. So he goes careening into the Thing, and Thing hurls him back. Pretty great. Crunch into this truck. There are few occasions when Ben Grimm feels free to let loose all the might stored in his cosmic ray altered cells. Until he finds a reason for Wonder Man's strange actions, the Thing will not hit his friend at full power. So here we have the beginning of a dispute that I have with John Byrne. Obviously, he doesn't care what one kid's dispute was, but even at the time I was bummed out because Wonder Man gets short shrift in this fight, even though he's mind controlled. All right, Curly Top, you got some fast explaining to do. Get started. Your science is frustrating. So here he he uses this sedan, pins him against the truck, and Wonder Man matches him. A thought lurks into Thing's mind, reminding him in a small, shrill voice that his opponent is a man who once felled the mighty Thor with a single blow. That would have been Avengers number 9. So here, Thing takes it to him, smashes him into this pole, this light pole. No, the monster is winning. I want to see that monster smashed. I must try someone else, but I must bring her closer first. So here we have an incredible panel here showing the She-Hulk, who's being called by this mysterious manipulator, and he is going to try to bring her to the scene so he can also take control of her. And a great work here by Wilson and Barta on the She-Hulk. I love this version of the She-Hulk with the kind of the leotard and the leg warmers. They were kind of struggling for a costume for her at this time, and this is sort of what they settled on in the Stern, Milgram, Sinnott run of the Avengers. And I liked it. It worked for me. So she isn't buying it, but she does determine with the Avengers scanning technology that there is a big brouhaha going down where this call came from, so she's going to go investigate. And here we get to the core of my argument with John Byrne about the abilities of Wonder Man. Something's definitely wrong here. I'm much tougher than Wendy, but he shouldn't be folding this fast. It's like he ain't used to fighting, like he ain't really in control of his own body. Time out. You are not, Ben Grimm, much tougher than Wonder Man. Are you a better brawler? Have you been in many more fights? Yes. You are not tougher than Wonder Man. Wonder Man's skin is far more resistant to injury than yours. Wonder Man's strength level is 10 tons greater than yours, 95 to 85. And Wonder Man does not effectively need to breathe. He also possesses superhuman speed, reflexes, and really, had he not been mind controlled, he probably would have knocked you out, in my humble opinion. But we can argue about that in the comments if you want. And it's fun. This is the kind of thing that brings up those comic shop debates about characters fighting each other. But anyway, the Thing knocks him out here. And then suddenly She-Hulk shows up on scene in an Avengers hovercraft. Nice shot here establishing her arrival. And this is pretty great too. She comes up and thing is not wet ready for it. And I love this sort of long straight on panel here, seen from kind of a wide shot panel. I think there's a lot of great knockback in this issue. He gets knocked back through a bus into a wall. And She-Hulk's gonna come, now I gotta fight a girl. And look at this incredible panel here. This is the just consummate Marvel House style artist, Ron Wilson, just doing it right. Thing barely gets this light pole up to block She-Hulk from crushing his skull. And is no match for him. At this point, she can lift press 50 tons. And again, she's a good fighter, but not to the level of the Thing. He shrugs her off, and she comes back at him. But our Watcher here, and we can see he's been transformed to look like She-Hulk. That's how he controls her. I don't believe it. She-Hulk is losing too. But there must be someone strong enough, unless perhaps strength alone is not the answer. Great backhand here as she knocks Thing into this truck. And here we have one of the classics of comics. How is this possible? It's a feat beyond physics, beyond comprehension, but it's so great in the comics. Since it ain't never been my habit to beat up on the ladies, even ones that can bench press a Mack truck, let's just wrap this up quick. Now, how's about we talk a little, gorgeous? I can't take any more of this silent treatment. So, She-Hulk is taken care of. And now we have our assailant, who by this point, if you don't know, it's the Puppet Master, father of Alicia Masters. Takes control of Spider-Man, bringing him to the scene of the battle and attacking the Thing. And man, some of these fights, if this sign connects with Spider-Man, he is probably going to be very badly injured, if not killed. But of course, he gets out of the way, and he and the Thing are going at it. Some great action sequences here. Hey, he's staggered like he's dizzy, like he ain't familiar with his powers like She-Hulk and Wonder Man. I think I know what's going on, pal. You got a visitor inside your head, don't you? Well, if there's any justice in the world, he'll feel this clunk. So he KOs Spider-Man. And now our assailant, in a brilliant bit of storytelling from artists Wilson and Barta, takes control of the bystanders. Really cool. And here Thing is wrapping them up, trying to not hurt anyone, obviously, using all the techniques of a strong arm, or what we would call a brick, with wrapping people up in light poles and imprisoning them, using the old fist shockwave technique. And even here, the piece de resistance borrows a little page out of Superman's book. And this is, of course, a couple years before John Byrne would leave Marvel to take over Superman. And he literally blows some civilians into a car and traps them. So here at the end, we have an incredible sequence as Puppet Master decides to take over the Thing. Now you will die, monster, but before you do, I will wreck the city. I will kill millions, and your name will be forever the hated and despised name it always should have been. Next issue, my brain, my battlefield, the strangest battle Ben Grimm has ever fought. Very cool. So that'll be Thing number 6. That's page 4. There's a couple interesting things left here. We have an incredible John Byrne page on how to draw the Thing. I would have loved to see cartoonist Kayfabe take a look at this. And I should take a minute to and I mentioned Kayfabe a lot on the show, but and I don't want to be a downer, but I miss Ed Piskor, and rest in peace, Ed. And I hope that the show can continue somehow, maybe with Tom Schuley added in. And yeah, but this How to Draw the Thing would have been just the sort of thing they ate up on Kayfabe. I don't think they ever covered it, but it's a really great for artists, like how to actually construct someone who is not at all a normal humanoid. Really cool. We have, of course, a letters page. No notable letters I had already checked. And we have an incredible house ad for the Mighty Thor Unleashed. This is right before Simonson takes over, or maybe at the month that Simonson takes over. Let me take a look back through the, let's see which issue of Thor was out. Yep, Thor, this is the same month that Thor 337 came out. So I bought this off the rack. I did not buy Thor 337 off the rack. I started my Simonson run with Thor 339. So I quickly had to go back and get 337 and 338 from Ides. And I think I might have paid 10 or 12 bucks for 337 and a little less for 338. But yeah, what a great issue of the thing. A very cool superhero battle that has all of the things you'd love about superhero battles. Great work from Ron Wilson, Hilary Barter. A fun story from John Byrne, resolved in the next issue, issue number 6. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends, and I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.